Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to clear a small confusion between the terms locks, isolation levels, blockings, and deadlock. How these four are related with each other. So a lot of confusion arises between these four concepts. So let's start with the locks. As we know, database comes with the acid property. Locks use one of the acid property that is called isolation to maintain the data integrity and avoiding conflicts in multi-user environment. As we know, the database runs on the multi-user environment. So what it happens, many users at the same time trying to convert or trying to manipulate, update, insert the same data. So it to maintain the consistency of the data, to maintain the integrity of the data, what happens, database imposes locks on the particular parameter particular data on which another transaction is trying to update or access. So locks is used to maintain the data integrity and avoiding conflicts in multi-user environment. And what is isolation level? Lock comes under isolation level. That is, isolation level is used to impose locks for concurrency control. Now it is clear that why lock is being used. Lock is being used to maintain the data integrity. How we will how database will impose lock? It impose lock automatically? No, it uses the isolation level to impose locks. Now by default, databases now have read committed date isolation level in on-prem databases, SQL Server databases, in Azure and Azure managed instance database. But in Azure database, it is read committed snapshot. So this is the relation between lock and isolation level. Isolation level is used to use the locks and used to uh, make a database a multi-user environment. So what are the common isolation levels in SQL Server? There are four isolation level in SQL Server. One, first read committed, read uncommitted. Second is read committed. Third is repeatable read, and fourth is serializable. All the four isolation levels have some advantages and some disadvantages. We will go through all the four isolation levels in separate video. So I will just discuss the all four thing in different video. Just this video is for making a relation between the four terms. It is very confusing to understand what is locks and how it is related to isolation level, how lock convert into blocking and how blocking convert to deadlock. Now, since all these isolation level hold locks except read uncommitted. Uncommitted means it is reading the all dirty reads, means it is not suitable for the database environment. Now since all the isolation level hold locks, some locks in every case will be imposed on the required data to access, except the read uncommitted. And when the wait time increases on these locks, since locks are imposed on table, database, page, row, so this lock may take for a long time. When the wait time increases, then this locks converts to blocking. Now when blocking occurs, see the scenario here. For example, let's suppose transaction T1 comes and holds lock on table X. At the same time, T2 is waiting to acquire its lock on table X. But there is concept of mutual exclusion, that is, until unless the table 1 will not complete transaction, T2 is not able to access the same table. And this is the concept where it is avoiding the conflicts in multi-user environment by imposing locks. Now when the lock time increases, it is causing blocking here. So it is very clear how blocking is related to locking. Now how blocking is related to deadlock. Now suppose this blocking is between the two process. and the same resource. Here the resource is same, and here the resource is same. Now, when transaction 1 locks table X and it is requesting for table Y to commit transaction, for in a single statement, for example, there is a update statement that is updating the table X with the begin transaction above the update transaction, and then it is updating Y, and after that it is trying to commit transaction. Okay, suppose we executed this one. Now at the same time transaction 2 comes and already hold the lock and Y, means on the Y table, and asking for and requesting for the lock and X table to commit transaction. But it is very clear that both will not proceed, because transaction 1 will not complete until it gets lock on table Y, and transaction 2 will not complete until the transaction on X will not complete. So both will stuck in the loop, as I have written, and both cannot proceed because they are stuck in cyclic loop. And to resolve this, SQL Server will kill the transaction, which will be the cheapest in the rollback. So it is very clear the difference and the relation between the locks, the isolation level, the blockings, and deadlock. How all the four are related to each other. Now in subsequent videos, in coming videos, we will go through the different isolation levels: read uncommitted, read committed, repeatable read, serializable read, and how they are good and how they are bad in different scenarios. We will understand. After that, we will learn the different type of locks: shared lock, update lock. There are different types of lock. We will go through the locks. After that, we will use the scenario of locks in the deadlock scenario. Thanks everyone for watching this video.